Okie dokie. Nobody's here yet. Hello, Cece. I'm so happy to see you. My son has called me like since I tried to hook up, my son has called like 3 times, and I should have just probably shut it off, text him, because he'll probably torture me now. So how are you tonight? I'm so happy to see you too. Gosh. We're going to make us a fabric bow tonight. Hopefully I can get this all done without falling asleep. You know, you're tired. You've been working really hard. Just working yourself to death with all your crafting. You know, I've never done a craft show. I don't know if I'd want to. I think they'd be very hard to do. I mean, a lot of work. Yeah, he's left me a voicemail. Oh, Lord. There we go. There I am. Hello, Debbie. How are you? Let's see. What is it doing? All right, we're going to get started because I think it's going to take me a long time to do this. I don't know why. But this is our pattern right here. This is for the loops. And this is our pattern for the tails. This bow, when it's done, will be... This is usually mine are a little bit bigger. This is going to be like 21 inches when it's all finished. This one is done with no sewing on it, so that for people that don't sew, normally my bows, I make them where I sew them and make them poofy, you know. But so I wanted to show you guys how to do the fabric ones with using the double interfacing. And what you're going to do is, this is our, your best bet with the material. Now this material here is 100% cotton, but it has a glitter. It's got a glitter over it, and it makes it feel stiffer. I would say if you were using material that was didn't have a little bit of stiffness to it, you know. But I think that the glitter is what puts this over top of it, because I checked, I did go into it, and it said it's 100% cotton, which I kept thinking it can't be. But that's got to be, there's glitter on this. This has snowflakes on it. And when you're picking out your patterns for your bow, whatever your color scheme is going to go with, you want to have, you know, some contrast. So, you know, either your tails are one color, you know, and it always flows. And with this, you're going to, for your loops, you're going to cut out 4 of these, 2 for each loop, and then you're going to get the double face interfacing that is Pellin, and it's 72F, and this is double, so then when you put it in between your material, and it tells you on here exactly how to use it. I used my heat press with this, and if you have like a Cricut one, you know, you could use that, or you can use the iron, and you have to have it on high with steam, and sometimes even putting a rag over it that's wet. Hi, Linda. I'm not getting anything there. No comments, but I'm getting them here. Hi, Linda. I'm so glad that you could be here. Anyways, with this, because this is pretty thick, but this is what gives you the, you know, the stability here, you know, so when you're it stands up a little bit, or you can even put a little bit of tissue paper inside of it, and it will help it stay up. I'm so glad you could be here. Anyways, what I was saying was, I was talking about the material. You want to make sure you got a material that's got some body to it. I would think with this, because you're not stuffing it like with this one, I use quilting. There's quilting material inside of here, so that gives it that puffy kind of look, where this one isn't. That one's sewn. This one's done with the iron. You've had a hell of a day. Ugh, your freezer went out. Oh. Yeah, that's not good. I shouldn't say, I was thinking my refrigerator's old too. It's about time something went. Anyways, when you're making this, you will be making, this is your loops, and this is your tails. Two of these, two of these. 2 pieces of material, and then 1 piece of the double-sided, always double-sided, interfacing that you're going to iron through. And it tells you when you buy it, you want to make sure, hi Dawn, that you get this with it, and it tells you exactly how to do it with the iron. I used my heat press with it, and on the heat press I had it at 385 for 60 seconds. Okay, so that's our materials. And take my pattern and my information, set it over here. So now we're going to put trim on it. Let's start with this. I would have really preferred a thicker trim, but I couldn't find what I wanted. So I'm going to, and normally I wouldn't do that. After you get this all put together, and with the interfacing on, you might have to go through and trim a little bit, you know, and don't be afraid to trim it, because I don't care how carefully I cut it. I've always got uneven edges somewhere. What you want to make sure is when you put it together, these have these little flaps here that go over top each other, because this is what's going to give you, to hold it all together, you know. Just set it out on your table, measuring, and it's going to be like around 21 inches. That's how big it's going to be with this. So you're going to let's look here. I think when I made my pattern, I made this a little bit swoofier this way. So make sure this is down below and the sleeker one is at the top. And just once you have this all together, you'll see like around the edges, you might have a little bit of material and not anything. And just trim it. Trim it. Your most important thing with this is once you put this, you know, kind of put it together before you start your trim, put your flap, because this is your loop, and it's going to go in the middle of that. Put that down there, and you want it to come to the edge of that. You want to make sure that your these two, that they meet up, that they're the right size. And if they're not, then trim it up a little bit. Trim it up and make it where it's all going to fit in towards this in the middle. And I don't know why it's measured out right, but I'm always trimming it. Okay? So now we're going to put on our trim, which is going to be kind of boring because it takes a little bit. We're going to start over on the side, and this I got from Michael's. I think you get 10 yards, and it's 40% off. You know, their trim, I find their trim expensive. And I'm just going to run this down the edges of it, kind of making it flat. And then I just take this, I roll it up to the edge, so it's right around the edge of this. And make sure I got it where it's adhesive. And I'll tell you something, the glue, it kind of, I think it's the material of this stuff, it just kind of peels off. So you can't really get a bunch of glue on it. I mean, it doesn't show. And I just run my tip all the way down, and I kind of just bring it in and roll it up to the edge so that it stays. See, in here, if you brush it like that, it comes right off. And then you can always take your scissors at the end and trim it, or your nippers. And I just roll it up there. But you want to make sure that it sticks. See, so when you go like that. So a lot of times after you might have to add a little bit there. Then we're going to see if I don't really want to screw up those scissors because they're new. Cut it off at the end. And then we're going to start down here on this side. So what is everybody doing tonight? Poor Linda, she's got fridge problems, which is awful. You flip it over and start at the top on this one. Yeah, there's nothing worse when your refrigerator goes. And I'm taking it right up to the edge, rolling it up there so that you can make sure that the glue gets in there, you know, by rolling it. And then I usually just take my finger and go around the edges of it. And if there's any extra glue, it kind of just rubs off. I think it's this material that makes it do that, and it's really quite wonderful to work with. It isn't as wonderful to sew with, I will say that. Because the sew one, it's kind of hard when you've got the quilting material in there. When I was making I had an order that wanted Christmas peppermint for a bow, and I made this one up last year. But I did it with the quilting because, you know, I'm a sewer and it's faster for me. Hey there, Susie Q. Is everybody doing okay tonight? How's everybody feeling? I feel tired, don't know why. Just don't know. And I'm just rolling that up to the edge and making sure that I got that stuck on there. Then I'm just going to cut it off right at the end. Make sure you get some glue on there so it doesn't come undone like I just pulled it. Pretty smart, Deb, pretty smart. Now we're gonna flip it over. Because this is so thin, we have to do the back side. I really wanted to get something that I could have, you know, put it around the edge of it, but they had some, it was made out of yarn, but it like was unwinding. You know, and I just thought, no, that's not going to work. That's going to be more hassle than... It was thicker than this. Because... you can see it with the loop open. But you just want to make sure that it sticks. And I wonder why I got glue on everything I own. And I have my glue gun set at a low. It's almost like it's 285, almost 300. So that if I touch it, I'm not gonna burn myself, hopefully. I will find a lot of glue on the floor today. See, you can really just rub around the edges of it and the glue kind of comes off. I'm just rubbing some more on this. I'm taking it right up, rolling it more or less right up to the edge so that I can make sure that it gets covered with the glue. And then make sure you've got it stuck. So are you guys doing a lot of cute Christmas things? I haven't really, I don't know. Me going away at this next month, I haven't really done a lot of Christmas stuff. So what's everybody working on? Anything fun? Anything cute? See, and then you've got it on the inside and on the outside. And if it comes loose a little bit, just stick some glue. I can see something right there. I'm just gonna stick some glue right there and run my finger over it. So there's our one loop. Let's get our second loop done. And you know, you can, if you want the bow to be bigger, all you have to do is make the tails bigger. Open them up a little bit. I think the ones that I sew, I think they're like 27 inches. This one works out to be, I think, 21. And I didn't check to see, they might have had what did you make yesterday, Susan? I didn't check to see if Walmart has, you know, sometimes they have some really cute trim. Oh, you still got yourself working on grandma daycare science stuff. Uh-oh, do I have enough on this? Yes, I do. I did see some really cute large ornaments at Michael's that were really kind of pretty. I don't know how much they were though, because I was like running in and out of there quickly today. Belly up. Ugh. And I'm just bringing it right down to the edge of this, squishing it down. Now we're going to flip it over. I'm glad I bought 2 of these. These come with 10 yards on it. So I did a whole one impartial of this one. With it. I don't know, let me see. What did I do with my thing? Oh. I forgot to push this down. It won't. There we go. Okay, so now let's do the opposite side of this. Oh, that looks like I got a little bit of glue. So what are you guys going to be doing? What is your theme for Christmas this year? I don't know. I was going to try to get my tree up before we go away. We'll see. I'm thinking quite ambitious here. Baby blankets. I tried making one time, but my aunt finished it for me. It was I think it was from my granddaughter. She was the quilter in my family. Well, my mom too. But my mom used to do all hers by hand. All those little pieces sewn together. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's my thing. You're electric, no theme. I don't know. I haven't decided. We'll see. Maybe I won't even get a Christmas tree up this year. I don't know. I'm thinking if I can get it done before I go, I know then I'll get it done. Because I won't be back till like the after Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving. I don't think Gary was thinking right when he planned this. You're working on all, I guess. I have a lot of things that I want to make, but we'll see if I get it done. I want to do a candy cane garland. And I got all the stuff. Maybe next week I'll do that. I've been doing a lot of shopping. So I got a lot of material to work with. It's all a matter of getting it done, right? I'm going to Hawaii on the 14th of November for a couple weeks. We're leaving on the 14th and come back on the day after Thanksgiving. It's not really ideal for me to go, you know, because this is really our season, but you only live once, right? Okay, now we got both of our loopy doops done with our trim on it. So let's do the tails. You know, and I've just been trying, you know, thinking, okay, you got so many days, you got so much of this, so much of that, let's get this done, get that done. But it just seems like my weeks just go by and I don't get nothing done. Come with me. We'll have fun. Okay, now, when I put this together, you know, I will say that you'll probably go through and trim it a little bit because either the material will be a little bit over with it, you know, and just trim it down. It really won't make any difference. So let's start on the tail. Now, I ran that through on there. I don't know if I liked that or not. Well, I guess I'll do it the same. I probably should have not. Yeah, it's been 35 years. I went 35 years ago. So I'm sure it's just going to be like all brand new again. I went in 1989, I think it was. 34 or 35 years ago. But we're going to when my husband and I went, we only went to 2 islands. We went to Maui and Aloha, but we're going to the other 2, which I've never been. I think there's, what are they called? What are they called, Cece, the name of those islands? So that will be fun. I don't know about, the only thing you know, you go to so many islands for so many, Kona, and then the other one, Kuwait. I think when I say Kuwait, that's over in the other place, but it's something like that. You know, you spend so many days at it, and then you know, go to, I don't know how much I'm going to like that, but we'll see. Seems like I'll just get settled and I've got to pack up. For your 60th, where are you going to go? When are you guys turning 60? A leash on you. Let me know where you guys are going. When are you guys turning 60? Jesus, you're babies. Babies! How old are you? I don't remember. Are you so? And you guys gonna go on a cruise? Oh Lord, with Susan? Yeah, that ought to be fun. Let me know. That sounds like a lot of fun. I haven't been on a cruise in years. Next year. Oh ho ho ho. I'll go, girls. Just let me know when. I love to go. See, we're putting it on the back because I can't wrap. This is not big enough to wrap. And that's the only thing I don't like. I would like something a little bit thicker, but I just couldn't. And you need something that's going, when you're picking out trim, you need to have a trim that's going to bend, you know. With it. And some of it doesn't want to bend around the edges of it. See, and if you get a little bit of glue on there, it just kind of rubs off. It's being very nice to me. How old are you going to be, Miss Dawn? You're both turning 60 on the next year? You're going to have to do something fun. What did I do when I was... Oh, my kids sent me to the Kentucky Derby because it was something I wanted to do. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. We went there for, like, I don't know, 5 days. That was an experience, just let me tell you. Lots of fun. When is Susan's birthday? Isn't she in June? No. I don't know. I think we'd get in lots of trouble. Okay. Got this on both sides. See, if you got the right kind of trim for this, where it would, you know, go over the edge of it, it would be much better. I just couldn't find anything. And I really searched online, I searched everywhere. See, so you've got it. And like right here, I have a little bit of glue, but if you just take your nail, it just peels right off. So, let's start on this side. You're in October. Oh my gosh, you guys are all... I'm really old compared to you guys. Jeez. You guys are just like young chickens. You guys are just babes. Babes. And that's all I'm doing with this, is just rolling it right on the edge. And if you get a little bit, just take your finger and it like peels right off. I'll be 71 in December. Yeah. Yeah, 50. I wish. If I was 50, oh my God, when I was 50, I could just run circles. I will be 71. Lordy, lordy, lordy. You 72, Linda? Yeah, tell them. It's not as easy as you think. I mean, we are all kids at heart. Yes, we are. Some days. Some days. Some days when I get up, I'm like, oh my gosh. What has happened to this body? Yeah, I wish with all the different things they've done that they made me bionic. You'd think after all the pain you have to go through, you'd at least get something. Give me a I wish they would have given me a bionic arm. Maybe a little help with my leg. Now they tell me they're just keeping me patched together. I just crack up. Patching, just keep patching you up, Debbie. You're getting a hip, and are you really? That's what I'm trying to avoid. You're getting a new hip. Yeah, they're trying to give me a hip, but they want to give me a hip and a new shoulder, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. Oh, it takes 5 months, really? Yeah, well, I'm gonna pass on that. For a while. I don't know, I just don't want to have to go through the recovery. I hate being laid up and not being able to take care of myself. And I'm sure Gary would say I'm like the worst patient in the whole world. I try. I do try. All right, we're getting down to the end of this trim. By the time I get done with this, I'll be a professional trimmer. My sisters, they had their hips and that done, but they had them done when they were younger. I don't know. You just all you have to do is bend this around the corners. You don't, and if it's got a sharp edge, then just trim off the material and make sure you press it down. Well, both my sisters have had both their hips done, and I think both their knees, if I'm not mistaken. But they did it, you know, they're older than I am, and they did it quite a while ago. You did the partial knee. I had the whole kneecap 3 years ago. And you know, it's okay, but it's not like my other leg. My other leg I can wrap around my head. But I guess I'm probably better off than what I would have been. Right? I know that's a lot easier with the hips. They have you, my mother-in-law had one, she had hers done years ago. She had rheumatoid arthritis, and they had her up and at them right away. It's not as, your knees are usually the worst because it carries your whole, you know, you have your whole body. Where the hip, it's what I've heard. Whether or not it's true, you know, you never know until you go through it. And everybody's different. Much easier now. You know, I know. I mean, my sister, my one, she had one knee done. She had one knee done, and as soon as she had the other one done, it was like bing bing. She had one hip done, and she had the other. She was a lot younger. Okay, now we have our two tails. Okay, so now when I'm putting these together, it's about measuring, you know, because you want it to. That's why we have this little lip here on this. This little lip here is to put this over top of that. And I'm going to use my stapler, and then I'm going to glue it. Now you can do the gluing. I'm going to staple it because I want to be able to, I would be using the stick fast, and that takes time to dry. So I'm going to use my little stapler that I got from, I'm measuring it out, and I'm measuring it out, it's going to be like 21 inches from tail to tail. Okay? And I'm going to put a little bit of glue down, and then I'll staple it, and then I'll glue it again. To make our base, to be able to put our loops on. 21, 21, 21. Just to tack it. And I say, oh, any surgery is enough. You know, you're going to be down. Now, this is a stapler that I got. This is from McMaster's Car. You know, they sell all sorts of different kind of things there. Industrial, I think they sell boxes, they sell everything. And this is the way you normally hold it, with this down, because I want the top part of this to, the top part of the staple to be on top. I'm going to turn it up. See, and then this part, I want that to be on top so it's smooth underneath. And I always have to try to remember that I have to do that, because if I don't think about it, I will flip it the other way. And this gives it added base. So when you're, yeah, I know that one wasn't going to go through, and I'm going to put another one right here. See, so you're making sure that you're stapling it, this part here, so that you have one over here, one over there. That one I didn't do as well as I'm going to do this one. Okay, and we're going to put another one over here. My little glue thing came undone here. Tack that down. So now I'm going to take some glue, and I'm going to stick my little glue thing in here, because I want to make sure that I've got that edge stuck down. And I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just fill it all the way with glue. So then it's stuck together very nicely, like this. So now we're going to work on our loopy doops. So you got a little glue over here. So now, the most important thing when you're putting this together is, first I'm going to put 2 staples in this, and then I'm going to glue it. And just right on the edge, where the 2 edges meet together. And then one right down here. So you have a nice little, and then make sure you check at the top over here because you're bending this now. Your loopy-doop, you want to make sure your glue is not coming apart there. So when we put this down, we want this to be when we're going to glue it down. And I'm going to try to staple it because I use stick fast for that, and stick fast doesn't dry really fast. You have to really let it sit, you know, you can't really fool with it. So I'm going to show you as much as I can with this. See, and the most important thing right here is this, matching it up to there. You want these to be the same exact. If they're a little bit off before you put your trim on, trim it. Always put these 2 together so that they will come together, as you can see right here, so they're the same size. Okay? Now I'm going to take this, and this one's really actually kind of off. I cut it a little bit crooked, but let's see if I can fix it. There we go. And I'm going to staple these 2 ends down too, to fit it up, because you want it to stick right in there like a little piece of a puzzle. I think I got that. That's come off a little bit, so we're going to add a little bit of glue there. Stick it down. So now, we are going to put this together. We're going to glue it, and then I'm going to try to staple it. So this is your, right here, when you're putting this together, you want I want this to, the end of my loop to hit right at the edge of that, and I want the end of the loop to hit to the edge of that. So you're going to bring them in so that it's even Steven on both sides. See, there's a little bit of a gap there. There's going to be a little bit of a gap there, so then you know that you've got it even. Now I'm going to glue these down, and then I'll try to stay. I have to see, and then after it all dries, then you can go in, and what I did with that one is I staple. I'll show you what I do after it's all dry. Because the stick fast takes a couple hours to dry, and you need to have that on here, because it you know, it really makes it stay where you put it. Then I'm just going to push it down. Then I'll put a little bit of the stick fast on it. hold it so that it sticks without sticking me. And then we're going to put some stick fast on it. This stuff is, once you get it on there, once it dries, I'm telling you, nothing moves. Nothing moves with this. And I use it almost on all my stuff that I make because I don't want it to come apart. Where, you know, sometimes with the hot glue lifts off and all that. No, this stuff doesn't do any of that. Let's see if I got it. I have another one. Got a new one. I think I'm down to the end of the line on that one. Watch the fingers. Yeah, you got that one right. I have glued my fingers. I've glued everything. And you know what's really awful is, wait a minute. Oh, that's it. This one doesn't have a little thingamajobby in it. Why not? I don't know why. I'm never going to get this off. Well, I know I still have some in there. Yes, there is. That one I have to get the things to turn the top off. I'll never get it off. And I know I got some in here because I can see it. See, and you're going to take the stick fast. You're going to put it right through the middle of this and let it seep in and let that dry. And then you can take your staple gun and stick it through the loop. The two loops, you're going to be putting it right to the back. And just staple it. Staple this one over here on this side. And as I said, I always turn it up so then it won't scratch. And then we'll put one on this side. Hey Brenda, I didn't see you sneak in as I'm sitting here rattling off. And then we're going to put one over on this side. And I mean, because I sell these, that's why I am really, you know, they can't fall apart, so I have to make sure that they stay together. So that's why I use like industrial staplers and stick fast that glues your fingers together and you really can't pry them apart. Now, I'm going to show you, this came from, I don't know if they have them this year. I haven't. And if anybody wants to make one, if they want one of these, they can contact me and I'll send you one because I didn't see them this year. I don't know if they're there. This is from Hobby Lobby. And I put it in the middle of this like that to give it, you know, this look with the peppermints. I don't know if they had them or not. They had them last year, but I bought quite a few because I was using them with whatever I was making last year. And then I'm going to show you with, this is, these are the ties that I use. You can get these at Craft Outlet, or I think that Deco Exchange sells them too. I think they're like, you get 12 or maybe it's 24 for $3.25. They come in all colors, and I use these to so that you can tie it on. You know, like if you're going to put it on your wreath or in a tree or whatever. And I usually put one at the top, and I make sure that it's underneath the loop so that no scratching. And I put one on one side, one on the other, and that's how you can hook it up. And see, I made a boo-boo. I put this down the wrong way. Should have been like that. But I usually put glue over these, a little bit of glue over these anyways, just so there's no scratching, because you never know where people are gonna put stuff. So I'm only putting this through the tail part of this, and it's underneath the loop, so you're not really gonna see any of that. And then I put a little bit of glue on it to hold it, and I put a little bit of glue on this one and on that one. Not a glob, just lightly. You know, you could either, you could take a piece of the material and just put it over top of that if you wanted to too. I do that sometimes, and then I put one down at this end, so then you can attach this. And then we will, some of these, if you're not careful, the red kind of gets in there. This one's got a little bit of the red on there, but I'm going to put a lot of glue on this. Now this thing's just coming out like nothing whatsoever. And then we're going to put this in the middle of our bow and hold it. And then let it all dry before you start pushing on it. And then you end up with this is a 21-inch peppermint bow. And I said before, you know, like for shipping and that, I always stuff these with tissue, a lot of tissue, because it will, holds it up. And this is very, very, very flexible once it all dries up, because you can see with this one, it's very flexible. Now this one's had the stick fast on it, and I don't have to worry about anything coming undone or falling off or anything like that, because this thing's cemented for life. If you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. Or the materials that I used, or have any questions. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope somebody makes one, and if you do, let me see it, because I like to see that people actually make what I show them. Because it's really not hard. And this would have been a lot simpler if I could have just found the correct trim that I wanted, where I didn't have to double trim it, because it would have just been really fast to do. But if you have any questions, let me know, and I appreciate everybody for stopping by with me. And I'll probably see you in a couple weeks. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. I don't know. I think I might do a candy cane, or not a candy cane. I think I might do a candy garland. Because I got all sorts of stuff for it, and I got the pink garland and all that kind of stuff. Or that, or a centerpiece with a couple of the swag. So, thank you guys for stopping by. I will see you later.